All right, good morning. Are we ready for yoga? You still got about 7 minutes. And always remember that this will be edited out. Okay, I gotta get set up. The roads were crazy today. There we go. I think that's better. Yeah. Okay. Blanket. 2 pillows. Teaching downstairs, right? All right. It is 8 o'clock and time to start. It took us, I go out and do a yoga class at 6 a.m. and the roads are snowy. It's coming down real hard here. So we are in the basement instead of at Ivory. I contacted all of them. I don't want them out in this kind of weather. So we'll just get Instagram here with us. Maybe if I can type. Okay. Good morning. Alrighty. So just know that if you get on, and a couple of are already on, there's a segment, probably about 10 minutes, that will be edited out from the front, from the top, and a little bit out at the back. Let's go. Let's do yoga. Hi, Kevin. Just an old high school friend, a dear friend, just got on. It's fun to see. So I had all my notes in my app, and they disappeared. I don't know if I accidentally deleted them. You know, technology, you gotta love it, but at the same time, you're like, what the freak? So we're in our crown chakra, right? This basically, the color is often white, light, or a vivid purple. When I do a meditation that is a chakra meditation, which I was thinking, I wonder if we could do that. Maybe we should. But you often will have, you'll kind of close your eyes and you'll see the lights, right? And as those lights are there, you have with your eyes closed, I can see the different colors kind of swirl. It's kind of fun. But this has everything to do with your connection to a higher power. Whatever that is for you, it might be God, Jesus Christ. It might be just the universe, but whatever higher power is connection. Iyengar says in his book that it is the ultimate surrender and connection to God is the access to this. So today you're going to go, well, how do you do yoga poses to affect here? Oh, don't wonder about that. We can get that. This has everything to do with just that spiritual connector that we have. Okay. So as we practice, okay, we're going to start with a breathing exercise. So go ahead and find a seat. I'll move back. Even when you're in your, I need to make just a little adjustment with this one. Even when you are making your, when you're seated, try to sit on the edge of that seat. Before we close our eyes to start, you will need, mine disappeared. You will need a yoga. You'll see I'm still in socks and slippers. It's kind of chilly. You'll want a block, and we are going to use straps today, okay? You'll want a couple of pillows and a blanket. So if you want to go grab those really quick, if you're like, Debbie, I don't do anything really quick, that's fine too. I know that there's some new people on today. So I wanted to talk about what we do. Why is it yoga for everybody? This class was started in 2009 with a client that came that had a tumor on his spine and part of his body had atrophied. And he's like, how do I do yoga? And I'm like, we adapt. And there is adaptive yoga, and I've done some training and certification in that. As we age, as we live life, we have accidents happen. I haven't really had very many, but I know that they are. I mean, I've broken some toes and feet and ankles, and what's interesting is those breaks. For instance, just a knuckle here, I can't even wear my wedding band anymore because it's too big of a knuckle to get anything over. And so I work on it, but that may never go away. And this is a yoga designed for anybody. Our bodies are meant to move. They are these gifts, they are incredible, and they aren't perfect. And moving them every day gives us this sense of wonderment that I can still do that. I can still do that. Okay, it isn't a competition to see who can move the best. It is really just an opportunity. So as we move and as we practice today, I want you to, this connection, we talked about this Sahasrara connection, right, to a higher power. So sit, and I'd like you to close your eyes. Hands can be on the thighs. If it's better in your lap, with your palms can be up, your palms can be down. Just breathe. Letting the inhale and the exhale move up your spine and down your spine. So you might feel a rise as you inhale and kind of a let go or a lowering on the exhale. With your eyes closed, finding that breath. Letting that breath be an integral part of you. It is, but we rarely focus on it. And this morning, we're going to focus on it, right? Don't worry about the rest of the body and what it's doing. Maybe sitting up this tall is difficult. If that's the case, a pillow behind you in your chair might help you feel a little bit more stable. I love to put a block underneath at my back to help remind myself to sit up tall. Aligning the spine, one vertebrae on top of another. Not worrying about the length of the breath, but just breathing as deeply as you can. Maybe you start to notice as you sit here what the breathing's doing for your parasympathetic nervous system. Well, it works with your sympathetic as well. You'll start to feel calmer. Maybe sitting quietly breathing is the most difficult thing you do. You're just a real active person. Couple more breaths. I really try to start every morning with a moment of breathing and then a meditation. But before I meditate, I've got to move my body. unless I'm lying in bed. It's a body scan meditation, and then I'm okay. So notice if this is easy to sit and breathe, or if you're finding yourself, I'm done. Dad, I gotta get moving. About 5 more breaths. I talked last week about being back from the beach. Let your breath sound like the ocean waves, the rhythm of the ocean. And then go ahead and gently open those eyes. Good morning. I hope that is something that you'll take the time to do every day. So if you're still chilly, you're welcome to keep socks on. I'll take mine off. I flipped the heat on as soon as we got home, but I can still feel a little chill in the air down here. But, okay, racquetball. So let's talk for a moment about fascia. Okay, fascia is, probably for about the last 12 to 14 years now, has really been the study of a lot of body work, a lot of people that do massages. Okay, it's very beneficial for a lot of just when we are active or when we're not active. It is a layering, a covering. It is connective tissue. There's different kinds of connective tissue. Each individual muscle has what they call a myelin sheath, right? And it is fascia. And each group of muscle fibers is then encased in another fascia band or covering. Okay, and then each muscle group that comes together. So a quadricep, for example, the thigh muscle has, right? 4 muscles, quad is 4, right? And so all those 4 have a covering, okay? And there are what they call fascial trains that run through the body that connect here to here and all in between. When we access our feet with the balls, okay, and we just find we're looking for places that are tight, that are maybe a little bit ouchy, and we're just kind of gently, you notice there's not a ton of pressure on there, but we're awakening and increasing the blood flow. One of the, and I'm trying to remember if they really feel like they've proved this or if it's still just a theory. And I can't remember I don't think they have, I'm not sure, but it just really makes sense to me. And that is that there are places in your body where the fascia is more adhesive. So it's like glued to your muscle. And then there's places where it just smoothly flows back and forth as you move. And that is what our tightnesses is, not necessarily a short muscle. So I want you to just think about that for a minute. Anybody had a massage, right? The body work where they get in, and if you get a deep tissue massage or they get in deep in some of those muscles, you come out of there just feeling so Gumby-like and just fabulous, you know? And it's because they've worked the fascia, they've worked the blood flow, and it's kind of an amazing experience. And so really, this is a little bit like I'm massaging my feet, okay? Go ahead and move it to the other foot and make sure. This is something I do every day. And I believe because we walk around on these feet, you know there's a huge movement to get out to walk on the earth, to connect with the earth and the energy of the earth. Okay? Anybody keep their shoes on at the beach? No, you love that ionized sand, that's got that salt, and you get your feet in them and you wiggle them around and you create. I mean, we walk down to the beach with our flip-flops and then we take them off and walk barefoot, and we love the water on the feet and the sand that gets stuck, and just that overall sensation. Our feet are our connection. These are our support. And so we want them to be, and you'll notice that I go forward and back. We want to connect. We want to figure out where are the places that are tight. Okay, then we're going to find, there's a little bit of a sore place. We're going to stay there and kind of just wiggle back and forth, finding. Some might say, well, Deb, how is this yoga? I have an answer for you. And that is that yoga is the connection of the mind, the body, and the spirit. And it has nothing to do whatsoever with the poses. It has everything to do with moving your body, paying attention to how your body feels, and trying to listen to that inner spirit, that soul that says, hey, maybe you shouldn't eat that, or maybe you should move, or maybe go for a walk, or maybe sitting that way isn't very good. It makes your neck hurt. Just kind of waking up, paying attention, right, to what we're doing. All righty. So I do that with my feet every day. Okay, we have these all over the house. The grandkids think they're the best thing ever. Okay, you can also do your hands. We haven't done hands for a while. Okay, beautifully done. I am just for a moment going to increase the brightness on that a little. Yeah, that's better. I should check also the sound. Is my sound okay? Yeah, there we go. All righty. So I love to do this on my legs because I also get a little bit of massage in the quadricep, but just wiggle through. Okay, you're doing the exact same thing. Okay, I spend an awful lot of time rubbing on this finger. Just don't ask my kids to show you the video of the rope swing fiasco. And then other side, I don't know. Why did I think I could still do a rope swing? Because I can do so much and it feels fun and I like being active. And so you can also roll on the top of the fingers. And that's always a fabulous. Okay, now one of the things we do is after we do something in yoga, no other exercise really does this. It's like, how do you feel? And it's like, oh, I feel great. You can feel that tingle in the fingers. You can feel it in the feet. We want to pay attention to what we do and how it makes our body feel. Go ahead and let's start with the inhale, takes you one direction. The exhale moves you back. Now, you might be able to just go here. We are not forcing. Move as if it's the breath of wind, and it's just moving you back and forth, finding that breath. And then let's take it down and up. Now, as you go down, will you let your shoulders press down as well? So they're depressing the shoulder blades, they're pulling down. And then as you look up, go ahead and let them. So it's almost like there's a connection. There is. But as we go down, they go down. And as we look up, they go up. And as we go down, they look down. The inhale takes us up. The exhale takes us down. Move one forward and one back and one forward and one back. And then reverse that. You're like, Debbie, it's already reversed. I know, but there is. When you think of that right shoulder or that left shoulder moving forward and then back, this one kind of just follows. So we want to have the lead switch sides, right? Going back, move it forward, move it back, move it forward. Go ahead and other side, forward and back. And then let's take that roll. Up, ooh, back. Really let those shoulder blades pull back, down and forward. Up, pull back, down and forward. Here we go, up. Pull back, down and forward. One more, up. Pull back, down. Okay, let's reverse that. Go backwards and up and forward and down and back and up. Forward and down and back and up and forward and down. Yeah. Now, I'd like you to take about a 45-degree angle with the chin, okay? Go ahead and lift it up. You can feel, and you can do this if you want, but you can also just feel it as if you're coming up and over that ball. You'll feel a stretch on the back of the neck. When I do it and talk, I can't talk as well, so I'll just imagine that I've got that there. I'm creating a stretch in the back and the side, and then I want you to kind of move the chin towards the shoulder, and then come it back, and then try. You're still up and over that ball, right? So it's like you're moving here and back and open and back, and then go ahead to the other side, up and over that ball, to the side. Your shoulder blades are pulling down while you do this. So it's here, and it's a subtle, slight move. These is what, these, how about this, or these movements, are some of the best things, these subtle, not aggressive, but stretching out. Go ahead and come back. Just kind of notice, how does my neck feel? Go ahead and ear to shoulder. Now, when we do this, oftentimes you see this. You are welcome to do that if you can, but you're not pushing down. This neck and the vertebrae is so tender. You're actually pushing your head into your hand, and your hand is stuck. So you're like, Debbie, that's semantics. It's really not. I don't want the pressure towards gravity. I want my head reaching away from gravity into something that isn't moving. This shoulder, you can bring up. I love to bring the hand out to the side and do some little pumps. Yeah, you feel it across the shoulder. You'll feel it into the back. The neck is definitely getting some work done. Now go ahead. You can stop the hand. Go take the chin down. You're still pushing back into the hand. It's not the hand into the head. And take up and back, and then gently release, and you'll feel the warm tingle of what we've created, okay? So go ahead and ear to shoulder. If you want, you do not have to do this hand, but if it's there, you're pushing this way. You're trying to lift your head. The arm comes up, and I do little pumps. Notice the head is staying still with this. Okay, I'm stretching down through the side, across the top of the shoulder, the deltoid muscle. And then let the hand go. Go ahead and just, it's turning the chin gently towards the floor. And gently back up. And gently towards the floor. And back up. Still really trying to get my head straight up in the air, and then release. And just notice. Wow, there's an ease to my movement now on my neck, okay? All of these exercises can be done every day. There's nothing that we do in this class that can't be a part of every day. And if movement is challenging, and I know it is for some of you, if specific movements, if like the knees just really hurt now, Deb, or my hips or my back or my shoulders, those areas that wear out as we age, okay, then we're finding that gentle overall continuous movement, right? Okay, let's get into our spine. Go ahead and lift the chin. Okay, when we lift the chin, notice I can still talk and it's normal. The reason for that, I'll turn around so that you can see, is that I'm not just dropping it back. There goes my voice. There you can hear. So when I go back, it's like I've got a hand here. You don't need it, but you can use it. Pushing, and it's pushing up while I'm pulling back. So even though I'm lifting here, there is still going up. It's that same thing with this, right? As I pull and open, I'm trying to get my head to go back straight. You'll feel this all the way down your spine, your shoulder blades, into your mid back, maybe even into the low back. See if you can let the shoulders drape back as well. Take a big deep inhale, just fill the lungs and then release. Now, if you're ever doing those and you feel pressure in the temples or behind the eyes, you're doing too much. So come out of it a little bit. We don't want that pressure. Okay, let's try that again. Chin goes up, and as the chin goes up, it's like someone's lifting my head towards the ceiling. I'm opening through my heart. I'm finding that breath. I'm finding when I do this, my inhale is so deep. It's like it can expand into the whole chest cavity, right? And then I release. Beautifully done. Okay. So that's a part. I'm going to stay sideways because I also want you to see the spine. Okay. We're now going to take the chin to the chest and try to roll down like you're curling up a yoga mat, a piece of paper, and it's your spine. You're getting as tight as you can. You might get down here and go, oh, boom. Okay, you might not be able to continue, but you're going to try to go as tight as you can. You can you'll notice the back goes back. You can let it move back, coming down, tight as you can. Again, if you start to feel pressure here, you've reached your maximum. And then slowly, starting right here, stack vertebrae on vertebrae on vertebrae on vertebrae and go all the way up, extremely slow. Okay, until you're here. Now your here might be here. Take and pull on the back of your ears. As you do so, you'll feel weight shift into the sit bones on the chair. We spend way too much time here on our computers, okay? So we want to pull back. Now you might say, what does this got to do with the crown chakra? Or you may not. When we can lengthen our spine as long as we can get it, then that energy really washes all the way up the spine and through the top of the head. Feel as if, and you're not a puppet, but feel as if you've got a string that reaches from your sit bones all the way up. And you actually do, and it's fascia and muscle. And then go ahead, here we go into our back bend again. Lift the chin, but at the same time, you're feeling the head reach up. It's like, somebody's keeping me in traction, right? And then open through the heart. You can close your eyes here. This is one of my favorite poses, is to just open. Feel my connection with the universe. And then we're going to tuck the chin. Coming down, tight as you can. You'll feel that right through here. As you go a little lower, you'll feel it between the shoulder blades. I can't really tell you. Then you're going to actually feel it here. Maybe some of you can come way down and feel it into the low back. And then here goes one vertebrae on top of another. Here's one. Then there's another. Then there's another. Then there's another. Then there's another. The mid back is the hardest place to get to bend like this. The low back and the neck love to do this. One more. Inhale, your chin lifts. As your chin lifts, so does the back of your head reaching. Open for an inhale. Exhale. Tuck the chin. Come a little lower. As tight as you can to the body. It might, you'll notice I get to about right here and I start feeling some pressure. And unroll one vertebrae at a time. Back. Feel how good that spine feels. Okay, so just a little, if this is difficult, like if this is like, Debbie, I can tuck my chin and that's about as far as I can roll because there's something going on in your back, okay? Yoga props, they're the best, right? So here we go. Go ahead and lift, find that reach, and then tuck the chin and roll it down. Roll it down. Maybe your forehead can come onto the block. If you move it a little forward, no, I still can't get it tight enough to get the top of the head. Stay here and breathe. I'll come up so that you can hear me. Stay and breathe in that intense forward curl. Can you feel the shoulder blades in the rib cage expand back? When we concave the front of our body, let's breathe into back. Did you know that's like 60 to almost 70% of your lungs are actually in the back body? But normally we breathe through here. So make sure there. Go ahead, beautifully done, come all the way up. So we've got some twists to do, but before we do that, this is one of my favorites because this, in a chair, that's very difficult to get any lower than my rib cage for me, okay? So we're gonna bring this block, bring it as close to your belly as you can get it. You might have a belly. We all do, okay? And it's okay if it's maybe here, okay? What we're doing is we're gonna roll forward, okay? So you're gonna hinge forward until you find that block, and then you're gonna let yourself relax around it, tucking your chin, coming down, okay? The block itself will create a stretch that goes deeper, deeper down into the low back, maybe even into the sacrum. The head hangs, the chin tucks, the hands can hang, the hands can be on your thighs. Take some deep breaths and you're like, Debbie, it's hard to breathe here. It is hard to breathe here. Let that breath expand the back. And then slowly, hands on thighs, come all the way up. Okay, so that gets down deeper into the spine. If you can get up and down on the floor, I love doing this one on the floor because it gives me an even deeper stretch. If you can't get on the floor, you can do it from the chair. Do you know what you can do? You can put this on, probably your countertop is a little too high, but your table at home, I think all of you have a table, and you just lean up and over to find that stretch. You're looking for, what we're doing is we're contracting the front side of the body, and the back vertebrae actually are opening and creating space. Okay, we need that space. Now we're going to go side to side and do the same thing with the vertebrae, okay? As we work our spine, okay, when we focus on the crown chakra, when we focus on anything we want through this spine, okay? But as we lengthen the spine and contract and lengthen and contract, okay, there is an energy that comes from the root, from the pelvic area, all the way up the spine, okay? And Kundalini Yoga is all about releasing the blockages that are around the spine, creating that energy that will go up and down, okay? You know people that live, and when you're with them, they're excited, they're happy, everything seems to be easy for them. It's not. But things seem that way because of how they hold themselves, because of a lot of it is because of this energy that goes up and down. Okay. If I am continually here, the energy might come up, but it stops right there. It doesn't get past and up into here. We've got to open that up so that that energetic can go all the way. Okay. Beautifully done. Let's add some twists. Okay. Let's grab our block and stick it between our thighs. Now, if that's a little hard for you because it's wide, turn it this way. Okay, totally fine. You're on the edge of your chair. So I've got a ton. I'm going to turn the chair around so that you can see. I've got space between my back and the back because I want to sit as tall. When I first started sitting in yoga and meditation, my mid-back would get very tired. I'd be, oh, can't I just sit back like this for a minute and then come back in, okay? So you're just developing the muscles going this way instead of curling back way, okay? That's all we're doing. So come to the edge of that chair. Block between the thighs, not the knees, but the thighs. You can actually keep it between the knees if that makes your thighs work a little bit more. I like it a little bit above the knees so that it's on my thighs, okay? And I do love this one. Can I tell you why? You're like, you're going to do it anyway. So when you hug this block in, something, because of Newton's law and because our bodies are levers, right? We've got this that moves this way and then it moves back. We use that, okay? And so as we hug in here, something's got to go that way. And there's an energetic expansion that happens in the hips. It's one of the best things we can do for our hip sockets. As we work out, we run, we walk, we lift weights, we play pickleball, we do all those kind of things. The leg muscles that run through the hip socket, right? They run back and forth. And all those tendons, they tighten up. And the ball, the head of the femur bone into the pelvic area just gets pulled tighter and tighter and tighter so that when we're moving, it is sore and painful. Nerves are getting pinched, okay? There's all sorts of stuff happening. So when we can sit and just by hugging that block, we can create some expansion. It might not be this much. It isn't that much. But just a little bit, then those things running through those hips, they get blood flow. They get energy. They love this. It feels like you're basting yourself. Okay? Not to taste better and have your muscles be yummy to eat, but that you can move and use them. Okay? So squeeze that in. I like to bring it up a little higher. You notice it's sticking up, and then put a little pressure pushing down. You're going to feel your thighs will do this. Your bum goes wider. Yep. And you actually sit a little more forward, squeezing the block, and then just keep that there. The reason we do this, we want this to stay so that we can twist from the root of our pelvis. Because if I twist this way, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not a very big twist, okay? If I let that go with me. So here we go. Now we're gonna do some arm circles. I know that some of you, your range in your shoulder is here. That is fine. If you can go wide, okay, go up, okay? I mentioned last week, and I don't know why I keep remembering this, but walking with my father, we get arm circles and he's got weights. and it's amazing to watch. Okay, so coming here, it's going to go up, it's going to go back. This shoulder wants to roll forward. Take it up and make it go back. You have to bend the elbow and bring it behind you. This hand is coming to this side or the block, and you're just revolving. Now, I don't want you to just force it, so we're going to use our breath, okay? I'm holding on to the back or the side of the chair. My elbow is bent back there. It's pulling towards the chair. I need to turn sideways to show you this one too. Okay, so I come up and I go back. Okay, I'm grabbing, elbow in, shoulder back. Okay, this hand here or here, and I'm just inhale, exhale, a little bit out, inhale. Notice this shoulder. As I exhale, it wants to come forward. That's okay, but as I inhale, I'm pulling it back. Okay, and forward, and pulling it back and forward. If you need to be down here, pulling back, do so. Find a place where you get a little bit of stretch, but not undue pain. We don't want undue pain. And back, and sideways, and back, and sideways, and back. Moving with your breath. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale. Now we're going to change the breath. Inhale here, and exhale. Which do you twist more at? Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Shoulder going back, elbow bending. Inhale and exhale. I find that I twist a little deeper on the exhale. Let's move to the other side. Okay, ready? Inhale up. Take it back, bend the elbow, shoulder back. Hand on thigh or block. Inhale and exhale. Notice we're coming back in with the breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then change. Inhale here, exhale. Inhale here, exhale. Inhale here, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Beautifully done. And come back to center. So right now, I feel my spine all the way up has just worked. There's one way we haven't worked, and that's side bends, okay? So hands plant here. As we age, our movements tend to be very much forward and back, okay? The side movements is where we get into trouble. Lifting my foot out of the car to open the door to get out, okay? Those are the movements that become more difficult as we age. So hand on the chair, planted, bend the elbow. I'm hugging this whole arm into the side body, up and over. Now, if you're here, fine, up and over. You're doing a side bend, so it shouldn't affect this shoulder too much. You can keep the shoulder down if you need to. If you can raise the upper arm, you're going to get a deeper stretch because it'll lift your ribs. There's a serratus anterior muscle that does that. And then come back up to the other side. Hold on here. Here, 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 here. Whatever you can do. Up. I find that sometimes I go deeper if I try to get the elbow up and over. Inhale back and down. Inhale up and over. Come back and down. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Maybe you're here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. These can be done holding on to the countertop at home, right? Finding that movement that is, now, you're going to notice we're going to do something we really haven't done, and I want you to be careful. I want you to squeeze that block. If you don't have a block, put a book. I'm trying to think of what else you could use. You could use a really stiff pillow. Okay, you want to have a little bit of pressure on your knees, pulling in, okay? So I'm going to do it forward, and then I'll turn it to the side so you can see it. So we'll go to one side, You're going to round. This shoulder will actually come forward because you're going to round and let yourself come to here. We've already been there. And then you're going to go to the other side, rounding, feeling the stretch through the spine, coming to the side and coming up. Let's go that way. Go over. Find the round. Don't just go and be done. Take the time to inhale and move around, finding the different places in that spine and come up. You might feel and hear a pop, creep, yeah, okay. Inhale and exhale and come around, moving through that spine, and inhale back up and inhale and then exhale and continue to exhale all the way over and inhale and come up. Here we go. Inhale and exhale and round and through all the way to the other side and up. Okay, very nicely done. Did we do all the sides? I think we're even. Okay, so let's get into our hips, and our shoulders are pretty good. When you work the spine and you work twists and stuff, those shoulders are just, they're attached, so they get the work. We've done a little bit of foot. Okay, you're going to bring the ball of the foot onto the block, reach the heel long. Time just goes, doesn't it? Reach the heel towards the floor. I lean forward. We're stretching through the calf. Then go ahead and come up and go right back down. And come up and go right back down. And come up and go right back down. Go ahead and lean forward. You'll feel the lean forward will also get up into your hip a little bit. And then go ahead and just come up and do some hip circles, some ankle circles. Notice I'm doing these quickly. You can do them slow or quick, and then change to the other side. Plant the ball of the foot, spread through the toes, reach the heel down, lean forward, come up, push, the heels pulling towards the floor, and back up, and down, lean, and back up, and down. So these are things that you can do if you've got a hip injury, if you've got a knee injury. We're protecting, but we're using the muscle instead of just the joint. When we push down with that heel, it requires this muscle contracting, this muscle expanding. Okay? That gives us the movement we need rather than just ankle circles. But ankle circles are fine, and they work some muscle as well. And then come up, okay? So this next one is hips. I know there's some that have some real hip issues here, okay? But you're going to, we're going to stretch them first. So if you can get up and bring a leg across, great, okay? You're not pushing down on the knee. Maybe your knee doesn't go as low as mine. It has everything to do with what's happening in this hip. So maybe this is like death to you. If that's the case, you're there. And you're just moving the hip side to side, okay? Now, if you feel like, oh, I don't really get anything, move the block up a little higher and go side to side. You can also move it one more way. Notice I pushed it out so that I'm at a right angle in my knee, and you can do it up here. That will give you a little bit more. If you can get up here, now if you get up here and you're just clear back here, yeah, it's gonna be really hard to move in that hip. So maybe you'd be better here. So you're moving in and out. I'm doing a little bit of what we call cat-cow, which means I'm arching forward and then I'm rounding back. I call this a back bend, a curl, right? And then a back. Now, notice this leg, it doesn't get to go with me. It's staying steady. I'm working just the one hip. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, done. Inhale, open and back. One more, open and back. Now, before we go to the other side, wherever your block is, or maybe you add the block here, or maybe you don't have it at all, you're going to plant it. You're going to lift and over. Now, notice I'm not doing this. It's not a rocking. Okay, I'm lifting up and back over and lifting up, quadricep muscle work and lifting hip flexor work all through this hip. Both of those muscles come up through the hip socket and attach up above the hip. Okay, now keep it over here. Oh yeah, wiggle it side to side. See if you can turn it in, turn it out. I'm not putting any pressure on the knee to move towards the floor. I'm just turning my hip in, rotation out, rotation in, rotation out, rotation in and out, and then try the other side. So if you totally can get here, okay, then you've got all this extra stretch. If that is difficult, you're here. And remember, you can totally be here, right? So that you're getting your range of motion. And the thing that's beautiful about being online is you don't have anybody to compare yourself with. Nobody, because you're just finding that range of motion, right? In and out. And then go ahead. Do it a couple more times. I think we need a few more. And then we're going to lift. Plant it down. Take it up and over and up and over. This leg is steady. Up and over. Up and over. Up and back. Up and over. Feel the muscles start to grab and work. That's what we want. Leave it over there and just wiggle. Turning it in. Okay, notice, you can't see that with the block there. When I turn it in, I do take my heel to the side as well. You'll feel that rotation. Turn it out. Turn it in. Turn it out. So warming up the entire body so that we can do some sun salutations as we end class today. We're going to end with those. So go ahead, come all the way to a stand. If you can't stand, if getting up and down is really difficult for you, I'll show you what to do. But for those of you that can stand up, come here, okay? Reach back, stretch, bend those knees, get the spine long. I want you to feel a push of your rear end back. Many of you know what mooning is. Moon, whoever is or whatever is behind you. Stick that rear end out. Reach the head. So come from that stick out all the way up the spine, trying to reach the crown of the head to the other side of the room, both stretching in both directions, okay? Then tighten your belly, tighten your rib cage, reach, and then walk up. Now, I'd like you to find yourself doing this in front of a mirror. Not right now, but sometime today, get yourself in there and see what your back looks like. When you go back like this, are you here as far as it'll go? It's a wonderful round, but it's not a length in the spine. So if that happens, bend your knees however deeply you need to be able to get those sit bones reaching back, crown of the head going the opposite direction. Inhale and exhale, finding that length. You're in traction. Somebody's pulling the hips back, somebody else is pulling the head forward. Tighten the waistline and the rib cage up, and then walk back in. I do these all the time. My hamstrings require stretching, okay? Step back. One direction, the other direction. Belly pulls in, rib cage pulls in. Somebody's pulling my hips, somebody else is pulling my head. If this bothers your arm, hold with one. If you can do it without any, hold with none. And then come back and walk it back up. We got a couple more to do. Notice that you feel all up your hamstring, back of the glutes. Okay, there's work going on here. Inhale, stretch, find that bend in the knees, lengthen through the spine. Pull back with the sit bones, pull the belly in. There, you're still tightening through the belly. You probably can't see it with my big sweater. And then lengthen through the head and then come back up. We got one more to do, okay? I want you to think of your spine as something like this, right? So I'm reaching that way and this way. I'm creating length, okay? This is what we have to be able to stand upright, okay? This comes from not finding that stretch both directions, okay? Step back, bend those knees, reach those sit bones, crown of the head goes the other way, tighten the waistline. When I tighten the waistline, I feel my glutes engage, okay? So reach and stretch, push into your feet, lengthen through the crown of the head. Think of lengthening towards heaven. Yeah, it's to the side. You're getting imaginative here. And then walk it up. Beautifully done. Okay. So for those of you that need to do that in the chair, the best thing for you is to probably have a wall in front of you. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but I'll do it anyway. Okay, so you've got your feet, you're clear on the very edge of your chair. You've got to be there, okay? And then you're going to reach, Instagram followers can't see that. You're lengthening as far as you can. So the sit bones are coming here. So instead of going straight back, they're now going into the chair. You lengthen and you're finding that same length here. You will not get the same work on the hamstring. The hamstring is really hard to access without leaving the chair. So go ahead. Those of you that are here, we're going to do our final twists. Okay, I promise next week, we were very specific on some muscles, some joints today, that lengthening of the spine. Next week, we'll do a lot more overall movement, longer of, the stepping back, stepping in, rounding up and down, because we can work individual, but we also need to work this overall body movement, okay? So go ahead and here, if you're in the chair, you're gonna turn your hips to one side and you're just gonna stretch the body, taking a twist. If you happen to be able to get down on the floor, then you're on the floor with your knees bent, lying down, arms out to the side, and you're just kind of windshield wipers. So they just drop. The inhale brings them up. The exhale drops. This is another thing you should do every day. Some have asked, can I do it in bed? Yes, you can. Know that your spine is not as supported, and the sacrum right here between the hips doesn't get the massage that you get when you're here. But if this bothers your back, you can prop up some, but if you've got some stuff in your spine, maybe it doesn't. This is one of the best resets for the body there is. So while you're here, inhaling and exhaling, letting the breath wash over, finding that range of motion, loving on the fact that you can feel your body. Maybe it's like, oh, that hurts right there, and back over. What if you couldn't feel it? Inhale up and exhale over. Inhale up and exhale over. Inhale up and exhale over. Finding the range of motion. And then take your knees as wide as you can. And you're doing the exact same motion. You just get a little deeper into the hips. As the knees go one direction, look the other. So you're taking your spine and you're kind of going, and then you're bringing it back, and then you're going the other direction. This spine is meant to move. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up and exhale. Keep going. I'm going to leave you in your Shavasana. So, I don't know, you probably are going to have to get up to get pillows again. I'm going to come kind of face the camera or whatever, it's not a camera, so that you can see. I love these two pillows, one under each knee as I go into Shavasana, okay? Because that little bend just makes the low back feel so yummy. If you need a blanket for your head, okay, get it flat, get it wide, roll up. But that part's going to go under your neck. Your head is supported, but this is under supporting the back of the neck. Okay, that's going to go here. Move water bottles or anything out of the way. Okay, and then go ahead and come down. You can totally go to the side. It's probably the very best way to get down. And then onto your back. Find your pillows under your knees. Oh, yeah. And just relax. Now, if this is not enough lift, if you need something a little bigger, go ahead and bend your knees and just let your knees come together. The other thing you can do that I love doing is put a block right here so that you don't have to reach. This isn't a time to feel a stretch. This is a time to let everything into the mat, everything into the floor. This energy, your body has supported you. You've moved. You've done a fabulous job of moving today. Go ahead. Staying in that Shavasana, I will leave you here with this idea that this lengthening, moving through the body, stretching, reaching, getting the energy to flow from the root where you sit, the pelvic area, the sit bones, up through your spine and connecting with divinity. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Oh, that kind of was a wonderful Wednesday. I didn't even think about that. Love on your body, love on yourself. Recognize the gift that this body is to you here on earth. Bring your hands to your heart center. The light, the divinity, the goodness within myself mirrors and matches and sees the light, the divinity, the goodness that's within each of you. Namaste.